Okay, so now that we have a solid grasp on how these proofs work and we've got most of our cycles in, we're going to be adding still couple more cycles as we go through here. How do these get more complicated? Well, the main way that they get more complicated is, as you can see in this diagram right here, we start getting overlapping triangles. So now it's not nearly as clear what it is exactly that we're trying to prove. So in this diagram, I see 1, 2, and then I see 3 and 4 triangles. And in some cases, there can even be more than that. So it starts to get a little confusing on what you're working on. So the best thing to do here in this case, and I'm going to insist on this, is that you redraw the triangles. You separate them out and redraw the triangles. And that's going to force you, you're going to have to work with both pictures at once. So if I look here at this particular example, I see that AB is congruent to AE. I see that AC is congruent to AD. Now, the way we mark that is like this. We use these fancy brackets whenever I'm trying to say an entire side is congruent to an entire side, but that side, it has like a split in it. So we use these brackets here to indicate that the entire side is congruent to the entire side. So what else do we have here? This is actually a mistake. I see that I've got this as a duplicate, so we don't need that. And then I have that CF is congruent to DF. Okay, so I'm probably not going to write up this entire proof, but we're going to definitely do the plan. So what I see here is that I'm trying to prove that this triangle, it says triangle CBF congruent to triangle EDF. So I'm trying to prove that this triangle right here is congruent to this triangle right here. So these letters are out of order. We're going to change this to DEF. That's a mistake too. Sorry about that. So what I notice is that I've got vertical angles right here. So I can list those, but I don't have anything else. But what I notice is that if I could get this angle right here, angle BCF congruent to angle EDF, if I could get those two angles to be congruent, then I would have angle side angle. And then what I also notice is that this angle right here and this angle right here, the ones that I want, are also part of these bigger triangles right here. And I've got some information about those. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to redraw these bigger triangles right here. It's not a terrific drawing, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be a terrific drawing. And then it's important to label these. So this is A in both cases. In this case, this is B and then D, and in this case, this is E and C. So what I've redrawn is I've redrawn the bigger triangles. Okay, now let's add the markings that I know. I know that this is congruent to this from given, and I know that this is congruent to this also from given. And then what I want you to notice is that both of these triangles share this angle. So just like we share a side, we can share an angle, and that starts showing up when we have overlapping triangles. So what I have is I've got reflexive right here. Right here. So what that means is that I can prove these two bigger triangles congruent by side angle side. And then I can take this angle and this angle by CPCTC, which will give me enough to prove that this triangle is congruent to this triangle by angle side angle. So I'm not going to do the proof because you know how to do the proof, but let me at least do the plan so I can show you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have given sides. And the given sides is going to be the AB congruent to the AE. So I've got that. Then I'm going to do the other given sides. That's going to be AC congruent to AD. Then I'm going to have the reflexive angle. That's going to be at angle A. So in one triangle, it's angle CAE, and in the other triangle, it's angle DAB. Those are the same angle. And what that will do is that'll give me enough to prove that triangle CAE is congruent to triangle DAB by side angle side, and then by CPCTC, I can get angle C congruent to angle D. Of course, I'll use three-letter names when I'm in the proof, but this is just a plan. Then I've got given sides, which is these sides right here, CF and DF, and I've got vertical angles, which is this angle right here and this angle right here. And now that gives me enough to say that triangle CBF is congruent to triangle DEF by angle side angle. So you're going to see in the answer keys, you're going to see that I always redraw the triangles, and I strongly recommend that you do the same thing, but you have to work with both pictures. Just because you redraw the triangles doesn't mean that now you're just working here. You redraw the triangles and you have to work in both pictures simultaneously, because like you probably wouldn't have noticed the reflexive if you hadn't have looked at this diagram. So you have to work in both diagrams simultaneously, and you may have to prove a set of triangles, take their parts in order to prove another set of triangles. These can get pretty complicated, but the cycles stay exactly the same. So that part is consistent. So do some practice problems, and we will practice this in class as well.